Hello, I'm going to teach you this morning how to make sprouted bread. Now this is not my own recipe. This is a recipe from Joyful Jane, and I'll put the link here so you can go grab the recipe. But it is by far the best sprouted bread that I've ever had in my life. I've bought different types of sprouted bread. I've bought Sprouted Hills, and I've of course tried the Ezekiel 4.9, different kinds, but homemade far outweighs anything you can buy in the store, I promise. Now there are a number of ingredients that you need, but if you really want good sprouted bread, I highly recommend that you purchase the ingredients that she recommends in her blog post. I will say my 13-year-old son said that this is the best homemade bread he's ever had. He prefers it to the white bread that my daughter makes in our bread machine. So it's really good. And my husband loves it. He just asked this morning if I would make some more. So you need a bread machine. Well, you don't have to have a bread machine. Oops. You can, she has instructions for how to do it in a mixer. But I found this bread machine at a Goodwill for, I think, $4.99. And most thrift stores have bread machines for less than $10. So I would encourage you to go check your local thrift store. You don't have to buy one brand new. This one didn't have a manual with it, but I was able to look it up online and download the manual. So a really good buy for $5. So the first thing is you want to make sure that your insert is locked into place. And then you always put the water in first. So it calls for 2 cups plus 2 tablespoons of water, warm water, and then 2 tablespoons of butter, softened. So I'm just gonna drop it right in here. And then 1 tablespoon of honey, and the honey is to activate the yeast. It is important whenever you're making this that you put the ingredients in the order that she has listed. All right, then the other things, I have already pre-measured them into this bag so that the next time I made bread, all I have to do is just open this bag and dump it in instead of measuring all these different things. So that's an easy way that you can prep ahead for another time, and you'll be one step ahead of the game. But I'm going to show you what I use. So this is the flour that she recommends. To Your Health is the name of the company. I ordered this from the company itself, toyourhealth.com. You can order it there, and you can get this big 5-pound bag. You can order it on a Lucky Vitamin, maybe, or maybe it's Vitacost, and it's about $6 a pound, something like that. And it takes about a pound to make a recipe. So you'll just want to be aware of that. It is a little pricey, but this flour by far is the best kind to use for making sprouted bread. Then it calls for regular unsprouted whole wheat flour, and I use the Wheat Montana just because it's my favorite brand. And then it calls for Vital Wheat Gluten. So I just ordered this on Amazon, Anthony's Vital Gluten. This was 4 pounds, so this will last me a very long time. And then it also calls for a little bit of regular white flour, which has been okayed by the THM admins and all of that, that there's such a little amount of it in the entire recipe that it's totally fine to use. So then this is the yeast that she recommends using, Safe Instant. And I did order this again from Amazon. And this is the kind that I've been using. It's the only brand that I have tested this recipe with. So since I already have everything pre-measured here, I'm gonna go ahead and just dump it in. And then I'm gonna put the yeast in. So the yeast is one tablespoon, I believe. So you kind of make a well in the flour and add the tablespoon of yeast. All right, and that's all. So now I'm gonna show you how I turn it on in my bread maker, and then you let it do a dough cycle. So it's hands off. I don't even have to touch the dough. I don't have to knead it. I don't have to mix it. I just let it do a cycle here, which is about, I think it's about 60 minutes or maybe it's 90 minutes. We'll see whenever I turn it on. And then after it rises, then I'm gonna turn it out of the bread machine onto the counter, and I'm gonna form it into 2 loaves, put them in loaf pans, and then let them rise again, and then bake it. Here you can see what it looks like. See how I made kind of a well and put the yeast in there. All right, so then I'm just gonna choose the dough cycle, which the dough cycle is number 9. So I'm gonna choose that. So it is 90 minutes, an hour and a half. And then close the lid. Well, hopefully your lid doesn't come off like mine just did. But just push start and it will start mixing. That's all it will do at first, are those little short turns, but that's totally okay and normal. It will get it all mixed in. Okay, so here we are after an hour and a half. It's been actually a little bit longer than an hour and a half. You can see that this rose very nicely. I actually opened the lid on my bread machine so it could rise a little higher. So I'm gonna take this out. And just dump it onto the counter. Then I'm going to divide it into 2 pieces. I'm going to get 2 loaves of bread out of this. So about like that. And then it'll be a little bit sticky, but it shouldn't be too sticky. And I just kind of roll it over until it looks kind of like a loaf shape. Now I know you can use your rolling pin to roll it out kind of into a rectangle and then fold it. There's all different techniques for forming loaves, but this is what works for me and it's super fast. So I have my bread pans here and I've already sprayed them with oil, and I kind of turn it over first of all to get the top greased a little bit, and then just set it in there like that. And then do the same thing with this one. Just kind of roll it around until it's in the right shape. Again, don't stress over this part. It doesn't have to be perfect. And then I'll put it upside down in here to kind of get the top greased a little bit. That just kind of helps it rise a little better. And put it here. Then I'm going to preheat my oven to I'm going to turn it on to 350 for just 1 minute so it starts to get warm. Then I'm going to turn the oven off, put the bread in the oven to rise until it doubles in size, and then I'm going to bake it. Just don't forget to turn your oven off. I have put things in the oven before to proof like that or to rise. I turn the oven on and think, oh, I'll go back in just 60 seconds and turn it off, but I forget, and then my bread is ruined. So don't forget. Now you can see this is about maybe 45 minutes of rising, and they've risen very nice. All right, here we are after they've risen for about 45 minutes. I took them out of the oven already. You can see how nice and high it rose. This glass pan is a little bit bigger than this one. So this one is a little bit higher just because the pan is more narrow. So preheat your oven to 350 and then we're gonna bake them. The bread has baked for About 30 minutes is what I usually set mine for. I did not put them on a cookie sheet or anything. I just stuck them straight in the pans, in the bread pans, right onto the cooking racks in the oven. So they've cooled completely. See how beautiful this is? Now I know, see, like that, if I were to use a different technique, I'm sure it may look prettier, but this is what it looks like on the inside. Perfect for my family. They all love it. So I like to slice mine with my electric knife. That makes it super easy. I don't slice it all at once. We just slice off pieces as we use it. So there you go. You can see it is so simple to make. Anybody can make it. You don't have to be a pro at baking bread or a great baker to be able to do it, especially if you have a bread machine, because it does all the work for you. All you have to do is just put it in your pans and let it rise again and bake it in the oven. So you guys let me know what you think about this recipe, and we'll talk about later about different ways that you can use sprouted bread, this particular kind, some different ways you can use it and recipes for it. Okay, see you later.